And that what in fact happened was Justin didn't harass Blake. Blake was interested in wresting control of this movie away from Justin, who was the director and the producer. She was just an actress in it, and used threats and coercion and bullying to do it. And to the point where this guy was in the basement at his own movie's premiere.
What I make of that is that if your wife is sexually harassed, you don't make fun of Justin Baldoni. You don't make fun of the situation. You take it very seriously. You file HR complaints. You raise the issue, and you follow a legal process. What you don't do is mock the person and turn it into a joke.
My favorite part of what I've read of this suit so far is that Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. This is a book that's probably written at a second grade reading level.
Yeah. Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megyn. And, and we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. And some of it will come as a surprise. Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
Oh, wow.
Y'all, let me tell you about the latest Hollywood spectacle that's serving more drama than a season finale of your favorite reality show. Picture this: a can't-miss masterpiece based on your beloved book suddenly transforms into a full-blown courtroom circus faster than you can whisper Oscar buzz. And honey, today's headline star is none other than Blake Lively, who might be trading her designer wardrobe for prison orange. We're talking a potential 5-year sentence. Because apparently, when a regular lawsuit doesn't provide enough entertainment, why not add the possibility of jail time to really spice up the narrative? So grab your artisanal popcorn, and yes, I mean the fancy kind that's lovingly hand-popped by someone with an unnecessarily elaborate title, because this saga is more twisted than the very film they've seemingly forgotten they wanted to create in the first place. Let's rewind to what feels like ancient history, shall we? Remember the collective euphoria when fans discovered that It Ends With Us, that heart-wrenching bestseller that had everyone reaching for their tissues, was getting the Hollywood treatment? Initially, it appeared to be a match orchestrated by the entertainment gods themselves. Justin Baldoni, the mastermind known for transforming stories into pure emotional gold, was set to direct. Blake Lively, our queen of razor-sharp wit and emotional depth, was cast as the lead. The stars had aligned, and everyone, from devoted fans to media pundits to the universe itself, believed we were on the verge of something truly extraordinary. The cast? Perfect. The director? His heart was beating in perfect rhythm with the story. Everything seemed destined for legendary status. But oh, my dears, you know how Hollywood operates. The moment those cameras started rolling, drama came crashing in like an uninvited guest at an A-list party. Word through the grapevine suggested that Lively was eager to sprinkle her signature humor throughout the script, while Baldoni was having none of it. He was determined to preserve the gut-wrenching, tear-inducing essence that made the book a phenomenon. After all, who needs emotional depth when you've got witty one-liners delivered in couture, right? And don't even get me started on the wardrobe drama, though trust me, we'll get there momentarily. For now, just imagine the devastation of devoted fans watching their beloved adaptation transform into a battlefield of behind-the-scenes drama.
We've come across evidence that shows that even her own representatives knew that she was threatening and mean and tough and wanted to get her way. This is not something that we wanted out there. It's not something that Justin wanted out there. In fact, it hurts the movie. It doesn't help the movie.
My favorite part of what I've read of this suit so far is that Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. This is a book that's probably written at a second grade reading level.
Yeah.
Let's be brutally honest, darlings. When you're adapting a novel that's essentially pure, raw emotion and personal growth, perhaps, just perhaps, it's not the best time to unleash a comedic glitter bomb. That's precisely what Baldoni allegedly tried to communicate. Meanwhile, Lively's camp was all about adding those spicy, sassy moments and showcasing luxurious visuals, because apparently nothing says deep emotional trauma quite like wrapping it in haute couture. By the time those first behind-the-scenes images leaked, fans were utterly bewildered. Wasn't this supposed to be the kind of story that reduces you to ugly crying, not belly laughing? The footage looked more like a glamorous romantic comedy than the emotional odyssey everyone had been promised. Naturally, the internet exploded, along with the growing tension between Lively and Baldoni, though they initially kept their war confined to private battles. Insiders whisper that Baldoni delivered an ultimatum: cut the comedy or you'll drown the book's soul in punchlines and Prada. But Lively, channeling her inner diva, reportedly countered with the argument that modern audiences need their emotional medicine with a spoonful of comedic sugar. Because obviously, heartbreak hits differently when you've got a perfectly timed quip ready to go. Initially, it was dismissed as typical creative differences. Just another day in the drama factory that is Hollywood. But oh, sweethearts, this little creative tiff evolved into a full-blown legal catastrophe. Lively claimed she was being marginalized, while Baldoni, darling, he came prepared with receipts. And here comes the show-stopping moment. Baldoni slapped Lively with a $400 million defamation lawsuit. Yes, you read that correctly. $400 million, because in Tinseltown, if you're going to wage war, you better make it sound like you're funding a small country's military budget. His reasoning? He claims Lively publicly painted him as a tyrannical director who excluded her from crucial decisions. But plot twist, he insists that behind those perfectly styled curtains, she was actually the mastermind pushing for those comedic rewrites, perhaps even demanding them. So was she truly a star pushed to the sidelines? Or was she orchestrating this comedy show from the start? Well, darling, that depends entirely on whose version of events you choose to believe. In any other city, this would be your standard case of conflicting narratives. But this is Hollywood, sweeties, where everything needs extra sparkle. So naturally, they added those extra zeros to the lawsuit and made sure every gossip magazine from here to Timbuktu got their daily dose of juicy updates. Because if your reputation is going to be dragged through the mud, you might as well make it a high-stakes spectacle worthy of its own miniseries.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megyn. And, and we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. And some of
Ryan
it will come
Reynolds?
as a surprise. Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
Oh, wow.
Just when you thought this drama couldn't possibly get any juicier, hold on to your designer handbags, because there's a rumor circulating that might just blow this whole saga sky high. Word on the street, and by street, I mean those exclusive Beverly Hills boulevards, is that Blake Lively might have played fast and loose with the evidence, perhaps even fabricating some bits. And honey, that could flip this script faster than a Real Housewife flips a table. Some very hush-hush insiders are whispering about text messages, meeting transcripts, and potentially some rather shady videos that tell a very different story about how much comedic fluff she really supported. Now, we all know typical Hollywood lawsuits are usually about money, fame, and those precious bragging rights, but throw in the possibility of prison time? Suddenly, we're in the territory of a psychological thriller. Could Blake Lively, yes, the Blake Lively, queen of sass and impeccable style, actually be facing up to 5 years behind bars for perjury or something equally scandalous? In Tinseltown, where NDAs, script leaks, and hush-hush settlements are practically a competitive sport, some are calling this whole Blake might go to jail narrative a calculated scare tactic. Settle up or we might have to hand these receipts to the cops, they're saying, as if the mere suggestion of prison time isn't enough to make anyone sweat through their Saint Laurent. This isn't just about losing a role or writing a check with lots of zeros. We're talking actual jail time, darling. And still, the rumor mill keeps churning faster than a Kardashian dropping a new business venture. Every time you blink, another piece of secret evidence leaks faster than backstage gossip at the Met Gala. You have to wonder if these leaks are just sophisticated pressure tactics designed to back Lively into a corner. Because let's face it, Nothing says I mean business quite like threatening someone with an orange jumpsuit. But wait, there's more drama to unpack. There's also this delicious mess about Lively's sudden about-face when it comes to styling. Early script notes and some particularly spicy gossip suggest she was all about bringing that high-fashion flair to It Ends With Us. Think cooter gowns, killer heels, and camera angles that made every designer piece pop off the screen. But when fans and critics started giving those looks the side-eye for trampling all over the book's raw emotional vibe, Lively allegedly shifted into reverse faster than a Ferrari in Monaco. That's when the real drama hit the fan. According to Baldoni's camp, they claim Lively was front and center, personally selecting those comedic moments and bold outfits, only to later claim she was forced into it. So was our beloved Blake truly overwhelmed by the comedy and couture tornado, or was she the mastermind orchestrating it all? Hollywood's divided, darlings. Some insiders swear she was just going with the flow initially, then realized things were spiraling out of control. Others insist that as soon as the negative press started rolling in, she changed her tune faster than you can say Louis Vuitton sample sale. Either way, one thing's crystal clear: this whole mess is peak Hollywood. A story meant to explore deep emotional scars is now completely overshadowed by heated debates about comedic timing and Gucci accessories. If that isn't the very essence of Tinseltown madness, I don't know what is. And darlings, what's a proper Hollywood scandal without dragging in another A-lister? Enter Ryan Reynolds, the rumored comedic genius allegedly behind some of those controversial lines and cameo concepts. I mean, when you're married to Deadpool himself, why wouldn't you tap into that comedic gold mine? Especially if you're trying to keep the audience from sobbing their designer mascara off. But oh, the plot thickens. Once the book's devoted fans started throwing shade at the comedic direction, those cameo rumors mysteriously vanished faster than front-row Fashion Week tickets. Suddenly, it was all about pretending Ryan Reynolds was never even part of the equation, or that Lively was completely against his comedic influence from the start. Some insider sources claim she tried to pull a disappearing act worthy of a magician, distancing herself from any hint of humor. But honey, in this age of social media receipts, those private suggestions can pop up as legal exhibits faster than you can say public relations nightmare. Now, none of this is officially confirmed, but you know how we love our juicy rumors, don't we? Maybe Reynolds was never involved. Maybe he was. But here's the real tea. This whole cameo controversy perfectly exemplifies the classic Hollywood chain reaction. One minute, everyone's excitedly brainstorming ways to sprinkle some fun into a heavy narrative. The next minute, the public hates it, and suddenly all the stars are clutching their pearls, claiming complete innocence. What does a star do in such a situation? Backtrack, deny, 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 or risk being labeled as the comedic villain who destroyed a beloved novel's essence? Meanwhile, Baldoni's sitting pretty with his stack of receipts, leaving guess who scrambling. That's right, darlings. Now, let's dive into the real drama. This scandalous talk of perjury. Usually, defamation lawsuits are all about bruised egos and hefty checks changing hands, but criminal charges? That's an entirely different beast altogether. For Lively to actually end up behind bars, there would need to be rock-solid, undeniable proof that she deliberately lied under oath or falsified crucial evidence. But just the whisper of potential jail time has sent the tabloids into an absolute frenzy. Fans are sitting there, jaws on the floor, wondering if Blake Lively Prison Edition is actually becoming reality. And honey, it's not entirely a joke, especially with more and more evidence supposedly surfacing that could contradict her statements. Legal experts are chiming in left and right, noting that in some jurisdictions, perjury can indeed result in up to 5 years behind bars. Now, is that the maximum sentence or what she'd actually face? Nobody knows for certain, but that hasn't stopped headlines from screaming 5 years at us from every conceivable angle. Some industry insiders think Baldoni's team is simply flexing their legal muscles for leverage, while others are convinced Lively might have stretched the truth a bit too far and now finds herself in seriously hot water. Either way, Blake Lively might go to prison is such a deliciously scandalous headline that it's completely stealing the spotlight and overshadowing the actual movie. But the real heartbreak? It's the devoted fans who simply wanted to see It Ends With Us brought to life on the big screen, without any side serving of courtroom drama or legal chaos. Yet here we are, darlings, here we are.
I'm a man. And this is a story that is told through the lens of a woman. And especially when it relates to intimacy scenes and to scenes where there is a mix of intimacy and violence, I wanted to make sure that those scenes had a female gaze. As much as I can try to see the world as a woman, I never will be able to.
So where does this leave the adaptation that had the whole world on the edge of their seats, stuck in Hollywood limbo, naturally? Investors aren't exactly rushing to throw more money at a project now surrounded by whispers of jail time and courtroom drama. The marketing teams can't possibly craft a killer promotional campaign when they're busy swatting away questions about perjury and those oh-so-controversial comedic rewrites. Baldoni claims he's still committed to honoring the book's emotional depth, but at this point, people are more invested in this real-life soap opera than the actual movie. One day, the rumor mill whispers about behind-the-scenes settlement negotiations, with both parties desperately trying to avoid a public court spectacle. The next day, fresh rumors emerge suggesting Lively's legal team has some serious counter-arguments ready to deploy. Meanwhile, fans on social media are meticulously tracking every morsel of gossip, torn between their desire for a faithful adaptation and their guilty pleasure in watching this spectacular meltdown unfold. But let's not forget the innocent victim caught in the crossfire of this circus, the book itself. It Ends With Us is meant to be a powerful narrative about personal growth and healing. But if you only followed the headlines, you'd think the central question was whether Lively's witty one-liners and haute couture wardrobe destroyed the book's emotional soul. So now we're all wondering, can this film possibly be salvaged, or is it destined to be remembered as that movie, the one with the outrageous lawsuit and potential prison sentence? And of course, we're left pondering that quintessential Hollywood question that perfectly encapsulates this entire mess. How did a deeply emotional story about healing transform into this circus of lawsuits, multi-million-dollar defamation claims, and felony charges? Only Tinseltown knows, darlings, and it's certainly not sending out invitations for explanations. Will Blake Lively actually see the inside of a courtroom, or, heaven forbid, a prison cell? Will Baldoni cash that eye-watering $400 million defamation check, or is this all just an elaborate power play to force someone to blink first? Perhaps they'll quietly settle, wrap up the film, and release it with the tagline, "Inspired by the novel and the most chaotic behind-the-scenes drama you've ever witnessed." Because in Hollywood, reality often outshines the fiction it's supposed to be selling. This mess, it's not going to fade quietly into the night. In the coming weeks or months, expect leaked transcripts, cryptic Instagram posts, and carefully crafted non-apology apologies that somehow manage to say absolutely nothing at all. One thing's certain, we'll all be glued to our screens, obsessing over this debacle that no screenwriter could have dreamed up. Meanwhile, It Ends With Us sits gathering dust on some studio shelf, waiting for its moment in the chaos. Maybe, just maybe, we'll eventually get the adaptation we deserve. Or perhaps we'll just end up with a cautionary tale about how Hollywood can take a beloved, heartfelt story and transform it into a comedic tragedy of epic proportions. Hollywood will keep spinning its drama because, let's be real, that's what it does best. So stay tuned, darlings, because if you thought 5 years in prison sounded wild, just wait for the next plot twist. In Tinseltown, there's always room for one more dramatic turn, and you can bet it'll arrive wearing designer heels. In this city of angels, even your grandest dreams can spiral into a nightmare of lawsuits, felonies, front-page gossip, and a cast that keeps getting starrier by the minute. And honestly, isn't that exactly why we simply can't look away? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd absolutely love to hear from you. See you in the next video. Bye.